So, welcome back to my garage. This is Game and Dom. I'm looking at one of the old favourites of World of Tanks, which is the M18 Hellcat. This little beauty. It's quite a nice little tank actually. It looks nice. It's a Tier 6 American tank destroyer. There are two Tier 6 American tank destroyers. There's the Jackson and the Hellcat. And they are, I guess, the Hellcat. The main difference between them is the Hellcat has more speed and less armor, and the Jackson slightly slower and has some armor at the fronts. In terms of the guns, they're pretty much the same, and are both very good platforms. Now, anybody who's played World of Tanks for any length of time will remember the Hellcat from old. It was devastating as a vehicle, completely overpowered in my view, frustratingly so, because when I played it back then and had it, I was rubbish in it, and I don't know why. I just couldn't get a hang of it. But you used to see other players absolutely ripping teams apart in this thing, and it was a kind of combination of tremendous speed. It got around the battlefield really quickly. Very nimble, very quick acceleration, and it could remain hidden until pretty much you ran into it. It was extraordinary. In those days, certainly when I started playing World of Tanks, TDs, well, any tank, but particularly TDs with good camos, could remain hidden in bushes and various other cover and keep firing, and they weren't any more likely to be spotted than if they hadn't been firing. Now they changed all that some time ago, a couple of patches ago, 3-4 patches ago now, so when you fire you give away your position much more, and TDs suffered as a result. And the Hellcat suffered more than many, because at the same time as that they nerfed it like crazy, and they nerfed it primarily in its mobility. So this tank is I don't know what speed it used to do, but it still has the top speed. It still has a top speed of 72 kph, which is very good. But its engine power is only 460, and it takes a long time to get up to that top speed. In fact, you're probably not going to make that top speed. Very rarely. Also, its traversing speed is only 30 degrees per second, so it's not that nimble. And the one that they don't actually have listed, but its reverse is terrible. It's like driving one of the British AT2s or something backwards. It's just horrible reversing. So the combination of the camo nerfing and its speed, particularly its pullback, its ability to reverse, means that you don't see the Hellcat as much as you used to. You used to go on to most of sort of mid-tier games, and there would be 3 or 4 Hellcats each side, and probably the same number of KV-1Ss, which still exists in the tank, but again is a shadow of its former self. And that was regular. You used to see Hellcats all the time. Not so much anymore. However, I still had an itch to scratch around the Hellcat, and so when the New Year reductions were happening, or the Advent offers were happening, and the Wargaming have been reducing various national lines by half price or 30% depending on what tier, and when it was their turn, I thought, right, I'm going to buy it back. So here we go. So I bought it back again. I've had, I don't know, 4 or 5 games in it since I repurchased it. You can see my win rate is only 47% in it. I'm not that great in it. I did get a mark of excellence back when I had it last time. I did from time to time have some really good games in it, but I always preferred the Jackson. Jackson was always my tank. Loved it. Still do. That's why I've kept it. In fact, I love all these tanks, all these American turreted TDs. So we brought a new crew into this tank. They're 100%, but they're only 50% through their first skill. Commander doesn't have Sixth Sense yet, and that's a hardship in any TD that needs to be hidden. Knowing whether you've been spotted is hugely valuable. And I've taken camo with 3 of the other 4 crew, and situational awareness on the radio man to help his view range. So let's have a look at the tank. 570 hit points, which is slightly lower than its brother sister tank at tier 6, the Jackson, but not by much. 570 is not great. You know, a couple of good hits from some of those Russian guns will kill you. Simple as. Weight load is not much either, 21 tons, so it's pretty lightweight. Mentioned before, the engine capacity is very low. 460 is very low, really. You know, even the Jackson, which is a slightly heavier tank, is 420. So it's not, you know, considering this used to be the speedier of the two, and it still is, and certainly its top speed is still very high, but the difference is not as marked as it used to be. As I mentioned before in the intro on this tank, its assets was always its speed and its concealment, not its armour, and that remains true. Your hull armour on this is only 12 millimeters all the way around, so pretty much anything can pen this thing, and anybody firing HE will go through it like a knife through butter and give you full damage, and probably knock out crew and modules and all sorts. Turret's not an awful lot better, however the front is okay. It's a 76mm on the front of the turret, so people who stupidly fire high, or if you manage to get in a hold down position with this thing, and it does have good gun depression, it's very good gun depression because it's an American tank, but if people fire at the front of this gun mantle and this turret, you will get bounces. It's you know, it's not uncommon, let's put it that way. So 76 is not so bad. 32 at the side, so it's 128 at the rear. Maybe that's that hitbox, or maybe it's just a mistake, but anyway, whatever. If you get hit in the rear, you're going to be hit in the back of the hull, which is 12. So anyway, so that's its armour. It's got okay turret armour, frontal turret armour. So if you can get it held down, you can get it. There's a chance you'll get a few bounces. In terms of view range, 370 is pretty good. It's a TD, and you know, that's kind of what they're designed for, is spotting the enemy and ambushing them. So 370 is pretty good. I use binos on this, mainly to try and make myself stop and use it properly as a TD rather than some glorified medium, and that gives it 470, which is very good, very good spotting range. Let's have a look at the gun. So it comes with a range of guns. Let's start with that. You start out with the actually no, let's look at it in the tech tree because it'll be easier to see the layout. So you can see it's got lots and lots of guns, which is a shame because you have to do quite a lot of work to unlock all the modules on this. It's got a lot of modules. Starts out with this 3-inch, which is what, 76mm gun, which has okay penetration, 101mm, 110 damage, is a bit on the low side, but you need to move on up through this, and you know that each of these guns gets progressively slightly better. This 76 is not bad at all. It's the same gun as you get on the Wolverine, which is a very effective gun, so that's good, but you need to, the grind on this Hellcat is a little bit tricky. You need to unlock the tracks first, and then there's a lot of upgrades you need here, including another turret before you can get to the top gun, which is this 19mm, which is the one that's which is the top gun also on the Jackson. So, you know, I guess that's the other way around of looking at this. If you're almost grinding for two tanks here, if you decide to head down the Jackson route, you probably eventually have unlocked this top gun on the Hellcat, in which case it'll make the grind a little bit easier. You may have come up through the Hellcat line, in which case grinding through this, you're effectively grinding two tanks, because eventually you'll be unlocking lots of the Jacksons as well, and you can retrospectively get them much quicker. So this gun, it's a really good gun. 7 rounds a minute, which is okay. 160 penetration, which is a tier 6 tank, is very, very nice. Gives 240 damage, which is also very good. Its premium armor is APCR, which is, I think, the better of the two, personally. And that has a very, very good penetration of 243. So when you are in games where you are put in a tier 8 match, for instance, firing APCR from this gun will penetrate a lot of those tier 8 tanks that you're going to face, so that's great. 240 damage with that premium shell. HE is not particularly worthwhile, 45mm, which is not great because a lot of those high tier tanks have like 50mm of armor, so 45 doesn't let you through. But you know, it's always worth carrying some HE for those sort of opportunities to reset caps, or when somebody's side scraping you with very, very little health points. You know, good HE round will generally kill them, so always worth carrying a few. Dispersion 0.35, which is good. Aim time 0.17 or 1.7, which is also very good. So this gun aims well, it's got a good accuracy over distance, it's a very, very nice gun. And that's the strength of this tank. But then again, it is a TD, so you know, that's what it's designed to be like. Good gun, sort of fairly basic chassis. It's all about the gun. So that's the Hellcat. So let's go and see some games and see how it plays. Okay, here we are on Redshire. It's a tier 7 game, but there's only 2 tier 7s on their side, and we've got 3, which is rather nice. And it's not, yeah. So we do well out of the matchmaking for once. Thank you very much, RNGesus. Right. I think I'm going to try and use the speed of the Hellcat and get up onto sort of G4 area. If I don't get rammed. Oh, jeez. Why do tanks do that? They turn across the whole lot of the starting tanks and then wonder why they ram into something. I just don't get it. Just don't get it. Really don't. Oh well, whatever. So, it looks like we've got a reasonable spread, although there's a heavy KV-85 coming this way up into the hill, which is always a good idea, because they're really good sniping tanks. I can't spin a shot. We can get shot. Oh, that's just turn it. Can't pen him from here. It's just too. KV1, KV2, so KV1, I'm talking about. So that's the big problem with this gun. This turret is very slow. So we know there's a Cromwell up ahead, and he's just gone in the cap. What worries me slightly at this stage is there's nobody else in the cap, anywhere to get to the cap apart from me. I don't really want to go. Oh, look, keep hitting him in the side. keep hitting him in the side of the turret, and he's an easy pen if we can hit him somewhere else. That's better. Okay, so what have we got? Oh. Come on, just a little bit further, you know you want to. Okay, I'm going to have to turn my attention to the cap. Oh, how did I miss it? It's not seen me, bizarrely. Going for an engine shot, got him. I do find that amazing, he didn't seem to know I was there. Ah. However, the Cheery did. I'm going down on him. Bounced off his turret. This is close, this game. I didn't really want to get into this situation where I'm in the cap, because okay, so the AT's there, good. Got some more support, that's what I wanted. Now I don't mind a bit of shootout. A43 got me. I knew he would. And we're going to lose this game by the look of it. Which is frustrating. How the hell all those tanks die out on the flank? I have no idea. Nice shot. Nice shot, AT. Here comes... Oh, what an idiot. What was that VK thinking about? What the... What the heck was that all about? He's on 14 health and he decides to ram a big heavy American TD. Wow. Nice. Oh, this guy needs to turn your face. Turn. Those Cheeries can put some pain. He's going to get killed. No, he is. Yeah. Yeah. Why is this fixation in this game of everybody wanting to ram somebody? Just don't get it. Just don't get it at all. So the Cheery is pretty much a one-shotter. Certainly to the SU it is. What's our Leopards thinking about? Let's have a look. SU-100. He's speeding over. Let's see what the Leopard's up to. Well, the Leopard probably can pen the Cheery. Certainly if he can get a circle on Cheery. Trouble is Cheery's got a 3-shot magazine. And that can make a mess of a lot of tanks. And he's not in the cap, so you've got to be really careful where he is. What are you doing, guys? Be careful. They're just getting in the cap. Okay. It's got to be over here somewhere. Would be my bet. Because we know he pulled back. I reckon he's gone to defend his artillery friends. Oh no, there he is. Right, okay, I stand corrected. Looks like the SU is going off to try and get the RT. Which is not a bad move, really, to be honest. Oh, come on, you leopard, you can hit him in the rear. Oh, kill him. Nicely done. Yeah, that's what I thought. In the rear you can do some damage. Now, hopefully our RT... Yes! So the RT's got him. So this should be game 1. So can the... So, see all the SUs. Oh, the SU... SU's got it. They must do. What have we got left? One Russian RT. No idea where he is. Maybe over the other side, mate. So, bottom line, you can see with the Hellcat, it has actually very good camo rating. It's been nerfed considerably with all these changes to camo, but it still is pretty good. So if you've got a good crew with a camo net, you can remain hidden for quite a while. Now my challenge in this tank is because it's a new crew effectively, I haven't got a sixth sense, and that makes any kind of TD, light tank, even a medium tank, much easier to play because you know when you've been spotted and you can pull back. But the thing with Hellcat is it's got lovely speed, good camo. Where they've nerfed it badly is in the reversing, so if you get spotted, to pull back out the way is really hard. It takes a hell of a long time to get out of the way, so it means you kind of have to play it assuming that you have been spotted, fire and move back, fire and move back, because the chances are you will have been spotted, and just the way things work with mechanics. But the gun's very accurate, pretty fast firing for a TD, and so it's a good tank. You know, you don't see them as many on the map as you used to in the good old days, in the black and white days, when the Hellcat was all conquering. You don't see it anymore. Looks like the SU's given up trying to find the RT. Don't blame them. Oh no, he's stopping to type. It's always difficult to type when you're driving, I find. So yeah, in the good old days, the Hellcat was all conquering, frankly, and as I said before, you used to see loads of them everywhere. But nowadays, you don't so much. But it's still a good tank destroyer. I still prefer the Jackson. But then I'm a bit weird like that, so shoot me, I don't care. So let's have a look at the stats. Yeah, it's an okay game. Tier 3, whatever that one is, fire for effect. We finished 4th on experience. 3rd on damage. Had 10 shots, hit with 9 of them, so that's the accuracy. And he penetrated with 5, which is a bit disappointing actually for that gun. It usually does far better than that. Nearly 1200 damage. Took 5 hits, all which penetrated, and you know that's the reality of Hellcats. Well, to be honest, any TDs, particularly these lower tier TDs, if they get hit, they're going to get penned 9 times out of 10. So, but you know, we made 22,000 credits, didn't fire any APCR or anything, so there's some sort of battle payments thing going from the clan, so 15,000 profit. 800 experience, it was a ×5, which is nice, makes it 40,000, gets this crew moving forward a bit in terms of experience. They've still got a fair way to go, but as I said before, I think they're a crew that I had in the barracks and I just retrained for the Hellcat. So anyway, that's the Hellcat. So here we are on Live Oaks. It's a tier 6 game, which is a good matchup for the Hellcat. XBM seems to have packed up, so I've no idea how good the other team are. Let's switch that off so it's not so distracting. And we're going to try and use the mobility to get into a good spotting position. So the thing I've noticed, apart from the fact, as usual, heavy OIs are just running across the front of everybody. The thing I've noticed in this tank is the acceleration nerf is extreme. You don't get away from the lights very quickly, and that can be a problem. So let's come up here, let's see what we can see, if there's anything to be seen. Looks to be a reasonable split on the team, going left and right. Don't know what 23485 is doing. Not sure he knows. Just sitting behind the hill. He's just sitting behind the hill. Just chilling. What you do? Oh, there's. And of course I bounce. The biggest problem I have here is I have no sixth sense, so I have no idea if I'm being spotted. I'm assuming not, because no shots have come in on me. Finished him. So that's a reasonable start. Not really sure what he was trying to do there, but I'm not going to argue. So, do I push up? There's a lot of tanks. They've got a lot of mediums down the other flank. There's only 2 TDs on their side. So I'm going to push up. So the danger... Oh, there we go. That's exactly what I thought. The danger of playing without any sixth sense is the first time you know that you've been spotted is when a shell ploughs into you. Oh, I got stuck on a tree, would you believe? Why can't I hit? Oh, there he is. I can now. It's frustrating, those T-34s keep coming in and out of view range. No shot on him, but he's coming back. Okay, can't really see him. There's an arty. There was an arty. Don't know what he was doing over there, but I'm not going to argue. So, the Hellcat's somewhere still around here. There he is. Hello! There you go, look at that nerfing of how much slower I am moving. He's not even paying attention to me. So that's good, we'll take him as a kill, thank you very much. Ah, somebody else got him. Bugger. So, I think we'll push on down, see if we can clear out their other arty. There he is. Yep. So it looks like that flank is all safe, so let's go and see if we can get some extra bonus points. What's my mission? Destroy 2 heavy tanks. Oh well, I'm not going to do that. Well, I might do, you never know, but not going to do 3,000 damage. So my overriding impression of the Hellcat since I last had it is the nerf on the mobility is quite extreme. Oop. Of course, he's firing heat. Let's just get revenge on him. Come on, fire. Oh. Seriously, he can outfire me? He can outload a Hellcat? Oh well, what are you going to do? So maybe that was a bit silly to sit up there, but that's the problem I've noticed with this Hellcat, is that you move up, you get in a position, you have to redeploy, but it's such a slow tank to redeploy. Really is so slow. It used to be super, in fact, one of the reasons why I didn't like it when I first got it, so you can see some of the action, when I first got it, was the fact that it was so quick. I used to get in all kinds of trouble with it, frankly. I used to get myself in sort of positions where I get cut off or go too far ahead of my friends, and you know, it is a TD with very little armour. You may bounce one off the turret occasionally, but really you're not going to bounce anything. But I've noticed since the nerf, and I can see why not many people play it anymore, is that it becomes very, very sluggish. It's slow to accelerate, it's cripplingly slow to reverse. That said, if you can get yourself in a hold down position, in a hidden position, that gun is very, very good. And I guess that's what a TD is all about. So let's look at this result. It was second class mastery, whatever that one is. I was far for effect. Keep getting that. What does that actually mean? Cause more damage to your vehicle than hit points of your... Okay, so you just do more damage than your value. Well, that's a pretty nonsensical one, because any half decent game should do that. We did a fair bit of spotting, a bit of assistance. What did we do? 1300 damage, 3 kills, third on experience in the team, fired 10 shots, connected with 8 of them, and 7 penetrations. Which is good. We received 3 hits, the last 2 being from that Japanese Tiger. I still can't believe he out. I've got that tank. I have to look at his reload speed, because that was amazing. I wasn't expecting. That was a misplay by me entirely. I should not have sat there. But in my defence, even if, well, A, we were winning, and B, if I pulled back, I still wouldn't have got away probably, because the pullback speed on the Hellcat is just horrible. So what did we do? 28,000 credits, 20,000. So it's a cheap tank to maintain. See, I was completely destroyed, rebuilt, didn't fire any PCR, which made it cheaper, but still made 20,000 credits, which is all good. 1,000 XP was my ×2, so 2,200 XP. So, you know, oh, there's a new year. That's useful. That'll help me get my crew up. I need to get this crew to 6 cents. Really, really need to. So, you know, the Hellcat, it's a nice little tank. It's nowhere near as good as it used to be, but then it was OP. But my feeling is it's probably gone a little bit the other way now, and would explain why very few people play it these days. I'll keep persisting with it, because I like these American TDs with their turrets. Wolverine, I've said before, is probably my favourite tank. It's the only one I've managed to get 3 stars of excellence on the barrel. Jackson I like a lot as well, and the Hellcat, that's 3. Well, the Jackson and the Hellcat are pretty much the same, on the same tier on the tech tree. So there we go, Jackson, Hellcat, exactly the same, tier 6. I preferred this line. I came off the Wolverine, went into the Jackson, much preferred it. I've got the T67 and I quite like that. It's quite a good tank. I hardly ever play it, so once this sale is over, once the discount's over on the American tanks, I'll probably sell that, because it just sits in my garage and does nothing, and I've got too many tanks. So the Hellcat, yeah, I bought it back for old time's sake. Was it a waste of credits? Probably. But I'll keep playing it for old time's sake. So anyway, thanks for watching. This has been GamerDom. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a like and maybe subscribe for future content. And let me know what you think. If you remember the halcyon days of the Hellcat, either driving it or on the receiving end of it, let me know. And has it gone too far in terms of its nerfing? I think it might have done. So, but there you go. This is Wargaming. We'll see what happens in the future. So anyway, until the next time, be careful out there and have fun. Cheers.